Welcome to VSB News Online for Thursday, September 3rd. I'm Peter Kitzel. The opposition Progressive Labour Party today took Bermuda's media to task for not questioning the government's plans to build a new airport, accusing them of not fulfilling their journalistic responsibilities. They also criticized the governor for remaining silent in the matter and suggested the Minister of Finance needed to grow a tougher skin if he could not face criticism from a union leader. During a terse press conference at Alaska Hall, Deputy Leader and Shadow Finance Minister David Burt and Opposition Leader Mark Bean were fulsome in their criticism of those they feel have shirked their responsibilities, stating that Bermuda needs a watchdog for the watchdogs.
Any normal society, IO, the media has always led and been at the forefront of ensuring accountability and transparency. Bermuda's unique because I would go as far as to say this. The One Bermuda Alliance will not get away with what they're getting away with in the United Kingdom. Because regardless of what jurisdiction you have media who are aligned with either the right or the left. So you're always going to have that counterbalance. Unfortunately, we have seen the media in this country muted. I mean, speaking of a civil suit against Brother Jason Hayward, and maybe Tarai, you can correct me, but isn't ZBM involved with this suit with Brother Jason Hayward? Ergo our point. When you have the media being either forced or coerced to toe a line that reduces good governance to a very low level, then the media is shirking their responsibility, and then the people start filling that gap. And you never want the people to fill that gap. So I would encourage, if we do not need a watchdog of the watchdogs, for the media to start doing the work. Because for some reason, I don't know if it's you're passive or you just have forgotten the way that media is supposed to operate, but since 2012, you appear to be very silent. And so I would encourage you to fulfill your journalistic responsibilities and fulfill it with integrity. It's important to have someone who will fulfill that role of ensuring transparency and accountability of those institutions within the reserve power. Now, the Constitution indicates that that should be the governor, but we have indicated that the governor is shirking his responsibility, which reinforces the point that that legal mind had indicated to us a few years ago, that we do need a watchdog for the watchdogs.
The fact of the matter is that if the minister is upset, that if he's being upset at being accused of misleading the people of this country, the documents that were revealed by the People's Campaign make it clear that he is misleading the people of this country. Yeah, that is very clear. The minister got up in Parliament and said this is CCC, when he knew full well that Akon was doing the deal all the time. He said that CCC will select the contractor. How are you going to tell the people of this country that CCC are going to select the contractor when you know full well that one has been selected already? The minister has misled the country. That much is clear. The leader of the Public Services Union called him out on it, and he's being sued. I welcome the minister to sue me. The fact of the matter is that he has misled this country, he has misled Parliament, and I've said on many occasions he is not fit for office, and this project needs to start from the very beginning. The BPSU did this entire country a favor, the People's Campaign, in making sure they made that patty request, and so that people could see exactly what's going on. And for the retribution to come from the Minister of Finance, financed by what is technically almost unlimited funds of the government, to sue and to silence someone is shameful.
Home Affairs Minister Michael Fay is lamenting the worsening relations that have occurred between the government and the unions as we head for a Labor Day that will lack the traditional camaraderie.
It's obviously very disappointing that, from what we understand, the government has been essentially disinvited from participating in Labor Day celebrations with the unions. And that is, of course, the Labor Day banquet, which we understand is essentially unwelcome. And in respect of Labor Day, as you know, the government and the opposition, for that matter, are normally given an opportunity to say a few words prior to the Labor Day march. that is not happening this year. And I understand that it's not happening because the union leadership certainly has made it clear that they're unprepared to engage with the government in any way, whilst there are legal wranglings going on between the government and the unions that have arisen out of the marches that happened in February. You'll recall that in February there was a 3-4 day walkout of a number of workers in different areas of government on the basis that they did not want to take a furlough day. And the government actually at that time obtained a temporary injunction to ensure that the unions in fact followed the legislation that's in place in respect of industrial action and collective bargaining agreements. The legal wranglings that are ongoing is in fact to seek a permanent injunction in relation to that particular issue. Brian, I need to make it very clear that we are not in any way seeking to restrict lawful industrial action in any way. What we are looking to do is ask and ensure that there's a court order that says to the unions, you must follow the procedures as set out in the collective bargaining agreements and or the relevant labor legislation. And if you're going to have industrial action, it must be lawful. And that's what we're seeking to do. We're not in any way, again, trying to restrict lawful industrial action. And that is an international standard as well if you're looking at, say, things like the ILO. Despite all of that, it's important that workers know in Bermuda that this government supports workers. This government is always supported workers, and with Labor Day coming up, now is the time to support the workers in the community. After all, it's the workers that are the backbone of the community in terms of moving the economy forward and providing jobs and having jobs. So I will continue to extend, on behalf of the government, a hand to the unions to say, come to the table so we can at least continue to dialogue, notwithstanding other issues that may exist, and wishing everyone a really good Labor Day, and hope that people are safe and celebrate Labor Day in the spirit in which it should be celebrated.
With the announcement that Her Majesty the Queen has designated the Bermuda Regiment as Royal in honor of its 50 years of service to Queen and country, a senior retired police officer told VSB News today that he was considering raising a petition requesting the governor to nominate the Bermuda police force to be similarly rewarded for 135 years' service. He points out that several dependent British territories, such as the Falklands and Montserrat, and even former colonies such as the Barbados and the Bahamas, have the royal designation prescribed to their police forces and have enjoyed the privilege for many years. The subject of tourism occupied a third of Premier Michael Dunkley's interview with the CNBC UK Closing Bell television program at the weekend, with the interviewer asking how Bermuda planned to hold its own. Here is how the Premier replied.
Your economy primarily based on international business, the financial sector, but also tourism, and I believe about 80% of your tourists come from the U.S. So help us understand what's the health of the consumer in the U.S. right now?
Well, we're blessed to have great routes between Bermuda and U.S. air routes, and we have a pretty healthy cruise ship industry as well. So the large part of our tourist visitors come from the U.S. The U.S. economy is in reasonable shape. Obviously, I think everyone would like to see it improve. But against the backdrop of the large percentage of our visitors come from the U.S., we also know that the tourism industry is very competitive. And so what we're trying to do now in Bermuda is redevelop some of the facilities, get new invested of capital to upgrade some of our resorts and build new resorts, because you have to continue to promote your brand. And as a small jurisdiction, we have to do more than larger jurisdictions do. So it's an aggressive market out there. We're a forerunner of the modern day tourism industry, but everyone is in the business now, so we have to just work a little bit harder so people know what Bermuda is and what our brand is.
Education Minister Wayne Scott has used his powers under the Education Act to declare vacant the position of chairman of the board of Cedarbridge Academy, formerly held by Jason Benavides. In his place, the minister has appointed Dr. Leonard Santucci, since he was due to take over the position at the end of the winter term. The change comes into effect immediately. Thanking Mr. Benavides for his service to the Cedarbridge board, Mr. Scott said he would explore changing the term of school boards to align with the school year in future. And we'll be back with more news right after this.
In an effort to make Bermuda's roads safer, and in partnership with Bermuda Police Service and the Bermuda Road Safety Council, DeFon's Broadcasting is launching a safe driving campaign. Complete with thumb bands, come into DeFon's Broadcasting and 94 Reed Street and make the commitment to drive safer and slower for yourself. Your voice could be featured on the radio. Get yourself a thumb band as a reminder of your commitment to drive safer and with fewer distractions. While you're at it, why not get one for someone in your life who also needs a reminder that our roads do not discriminate. They can take anyone's life. Let's drive safe, Bermuda, and arrive alive. Peace and love. Safe journeys.
The blue bag recycling, separation and baling unit at the material recovery facility is currently non-operational and will have to undergo repairs. But, as Brian Darby reports, the collections will go on.
The ministry says replacement parts should arrive on the island in 2 weeks, and it is anticipated that repairs will take approximately 1 week to complete. In the interim, due to space constraints at the MRF, blue bags will be taken to the old recycling facility at Devon Springs, where they'll be stored while repairs are undertaken. Recycling hauliers have been informed of the change, and the government does not anticipate any inconvenience to the public or change in recycling collection during the period. Once the MRF unit is operational, bags will be moved to the MRF for processing, and delivery will once again resume. Recycling will continue to be collected per the 2015 garbage and recycling schedule, which is mailed out to each household annually. Brian Darby reporting for VSB News.
Marcus's at the Hamilton Princess and Beach Club is good company these days. The Forbes Travel Guide blog has cited it as being one of the 5 unique dining experiences around the globe. It noted that after opening successful restaurants in New York and Sweden, celebrity chef Marcus Samuelsson expanded his culinary empire earlier this summer, with a restaurant filled with original modern art and offering views of Hamilton Harbor, while the Open Kitchen's wood-burning grill gives more than a glimpse of the culinary action. The blog also highlighted Samuelsson's tribute to Caribbean cuisine with dishes such as grilled Bermuda onion, jerk pork belly, and fish chowder croquettes. Other establishments featured in the blog include a restaurant at the Rosewood Hotel in Beijing, the Krug Room at the Mandarin Oriental in Hong Kong, the Counter 357 in Austin, Texas, and Gyro at Saison in San Francisco. Works Minister Craig Cannonier has praised the spirit of both the organizers of the movies in the park this weekend and the Parks Department for their approach to ensuring unity in the community, in particular, producer Eugene Dean.
Eugene has already mentioned this is an opportunity for the ministry, who in the past has gotten involved in community efforts like this here. So Star Time, and with Eugene and his group, with this message of unity in the community, we're embracing that. So I'm excited about the fact that we now have this opportunity. I know funds were difficult to come by. I got a call from Eugene, and it's like, listen, brother, you know, what's going on about finances here? And so we were able to allocate funds to make sure that Bermuda ends off the summer on a high note. This is Labor Day weekend, along with the summer coming to an end, and I think we have a lot to celebrate over the Labor Day weekend of our forefathers and what they have done to get us to where we are today. And so in conjunction with the ministry and Star Time, this is an exciting time. It's free. It's wholesome fun, and so I'm asking Bermuda just to come out and enjoy this time where we celebrate best one another, unity in the community.
And now we turn to Earl Baisden with the latest from the sports desk.
5 young Bermuda sailors, Micah Thomas Rayner, Camille Chingaret, Campbell Patton, Luke Medeiros, and Tate Stefanuk were back on the waters of the Baltic Sea competing in the 2015 World Optimist Championships in Poland. 3 races were completed yesterday, making it the most racing in one day for the fleet. Patton had a remarkable day. He started the day in 205th, and when he came off the waters, he found himself in 125th with 180 net points. Patton recorded finishes of 29th, 16th, and 16th. Stefanuk is in 139th with 194 points. Thomas Rayner is in 176th place with 227 points, while Medeiros is in 237th with 308 points. Chingaret is 242nd with 317 points. Meanwhile, on the local waters, 23 boats went to the start line for race day 18 of the Wednesday night sailing series. Crossfire crossed the line first with a time of 1:03:05, and with their corrected time of 1:09:12, saw them finish second on the night. Mayhem was the second boat to cross the line, clocking a time of 1:13:38. With their corrected time of 1:09:02, saw them finish first on the night. The third boat to cross the line on the night was Passion, clocking 1:15:35. With their corrected time of 1:10:52, saw them finish fifth. Honey Badger was third on the night with a corrected time of 1:10:18 after recording a time of 1:16:03, while Frame was fourth on the night with a corrected time of 1:10:51. The third round of the Myrtle Beach World Amateur Golf Tournament was played, with the 9 Bermuda golfers taking to the courses in Florida. Tracy Burgess is in 4th, and Ann Simons is tied 10th, competing in the women's division flight 67. Burgess shot a second round 70 for a 2-day total of 144, and Simons shot the division lowest round of the day, carding a 67, and she has a 2-round total of 150. Competing in the women's division flight 68, Ann Mitchell is tied 29th after her round of 80, which gave her a 2-round total of 164. Kevin Trott is now tied 10th after shooting a second round 72, competing in the mid-senior men's 60 to 69 flight 41 division. Trott has a 2-round total of 144, while Robert Coddington is in tied 36th after his second round of 76 to give him a 2-round total of 158. Competing in the senior men's 50 to 59 flight 15 division, Keith Trott remains 35th after shooting 80 for a 2-round total of 162. Wayne Greaves is tied 31st, competing in the senior men's 50 to 59 flight 26 division after his round of 82, and has a 2-round total of 160. Gary Venning, competing in the men's mid-senior 60 to 69 flight 54 division, ended his second round tied 29th after shooting 79 for a 2-round total of 158. Richard Marriott is tied 9th, competing in the men's 49 and under flight 17 division after his second round of 73 to give him a 2-round total of 154. The weekly Shivers Player of the Week award was handed out, with Chelsea Todd, Goslin's marketing representative, making today's announcement.
This week's award goes to Courtney Trott. Courtney will often act as manager for Cleveland County, and at home games has always seemed to be getting things done. Water for the water breaks, ensuring the scores have everything they need, and making sure everything is in place for tea, even going to the store if something's missing.
For his commitment to the spirit of cricket and chivalry, Courtney Trott is the winner for week 12.
All right, Courtney, on behalf of Goslins and Shivers, we'd like to present you the Shivers 18.
Thank you. Thank you. Firstly, I'd like to thank Shivers for their wonderful donation and to sponsoring cricket in this fashion.
The World Triathlon Series is coming to the Americas as Edmonton, Canada becomes the 9th stop for the 2015 circuit. Flora Duffy carried on a breakthrough consistent season in Stockholm last weekend when she scored her 3rd top 5 finish of the year. Duffy's tendencies on the bike is unmatched and will be key for the Bermuda athlete to score a 2nd podium this weekend. After finishing in 7th place on August 23rd in the Canadian Junior Western Championships, Tyler Smith will be racing in another Canadian Junior Elite Series race this coming Saturday, September 5th. Erica Hawley will be racing this weekend as well at the Mallory Park in Leicestershire, UK, in the Junior Elite Series race for the 16 to 19-year-olds. Alex Pilgrim will also be racing in the same event Under-20 Festival as he races in the 13 to 14-year-old Interregional Triathlon Championships. The Thomas College men's soccer program that features 6 Bermuda players, including Jordan Payne, London Steve Jackson, Mikhail Simmons, Trey Ming, Willie Clemens, and Chris Godfrey, fell to the University of Maine at Fort Kent 3-0 in their season opener. 4 of the 6 Bermuda players were starters, but they could not prevent Thomas College from going down. A total of 46 runs crossed the plate in the latest round of the Bermuda Commercial Softball Summer League play, currently going on at the Michael Priest Softball Diamond. KPMG defeated Emlyn 7-0. The Parakeet Flyers recorded a 14-3 win over Corporation of Hamilton, and BF&M defeated Vasco 12-10. The second spring senior bowling league season rolled off at the Warwick Lanes last evening. Go and Get It went down 3-1 to the Drifters, while the game between the Last Pins and Pin Splitters ended 2-2. The Newcomers went down 4-0 to the Islanders, and the Blue Angels went down 3-1 to the Last Minutes. I'm Earl Baisden reporting for VSB Sports.
Looking at the weather for Friday, September 4th, there will be sunny periods with a few showers and a risk of morning thunder. Winds will be southerly and light, becoming variable by midday and tending northwesterly overnight. We are expecting a high near 84 Fahrenheit and a low near 78 Fahrenheit. This weather forecast is courtesy of the Bermuda Weather Service. Thank you for watching VSB News Online for Thursday, September 3rd. I'm Peter Kittel.